In Iran and Afghanistan, the punishment of same-sex relations is death penalty. I worked for 2 weeks because I had no choice. I want you to echo our voices, the LGBTI people in
안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 저희는 지금 호주 시드니에 있습니다. 그 Forcibly Displaced People Network라고 이제 강제 이주 네트워크에서 이제 초청을 받아서 우리 여기 지금 오늘 초대 게스트이신 분과 제가 함께 나와 있고요. 사실 저희 컨퍼런스를 하러 왔는데 제가 어제 이제 그 발표하시는 것을 듣고 너무나 감동을 해서 꼭 이렇게 공감을 위해서 인터뷰를 해주셨으면 좋겠다고 요청을 드렸어요. 아르테미스 악바리라는 분과 이제 같이 앉아 있고요. 제가 잠깐 설명을 드리면 이분은 아프간 LGBT 오거니제이션의 이제 아프간 성소수자 기구의 그 창립자이시고 사실 성소수자 난민 당사자 분이세요. 직접 이야기를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. So, Artemis, thank you so much for agreeing to be, here. Can you introduce yourself briefly to our Kongan family?
First of all, hello to everyone, and thanks for your invitation. And it's an honor for me to be here and talk to you and to your audience, your great audience. I'm Artemis Akbary, founder and director of ALO, or Afghan LGBT Organization, and also I'm radio producer and presenter in Radio Rangin Kaman. We produce radio program for Afghan and Iranian LGBTI people, and also I do advocacy for LGBT rights and refugee rights. Thank you. Being LGBT person in Afghanistan or in Iran is really hard in a conservative and religious society, and it puts you in tremendous pressure and dangerous. So unfortunately, when I found out that I'm gay and I identified myself as a gay person, unfortunately my parents didn't accept me, and I was under pressure by my family. So I had many problems. They tried to cure me. They wanted to make me a cis heterosexual person. Fortunately, I was tortured by them and
Back in Afghanistan.
by my family, yes, and the society didn't accept me.
How old were you when you first left your country?
When I was 20-year-old, I left my country, and unfortunately, it is really hard for Afghan citizens to obtain visa from Turkey or from other democratic countries like Western countries. Because of that, I crossed the border on my foot. I walked for 2 weeks. Yes, I walked for 2 weeks because I had no choice, and I found human trafficking, a smuggler, and he helped me to go to Turkey. So I walked on my foot for 2 weeks to go to Turkey, and in Ankara, the capital city of Turkey, I asked for asylum in the office of UNHCR. At that time, UNHCR was responsible. And unfortunately, for 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't have any place to stay, and I slept in the park. And it was a very cold weather. I won't forget that time that I was in the park, in the street, and it was a dangerous place. It was really cold, but after that, a family helped me with the accommodation, with finding job, and step by step, everything got better.
The moment you arrived to Turkey, have you applied the refugee based on your sexual orientation? And I was wondering if anybody helped the refugee application.
Yes, I applied based on my sexual orientation because the main reason was that at that time there wasn't many organization. For example, there was just UNHCR and also ASAM organization, and ASAM was the one of the branch of UNHCR. So there wasn't any organization to help me with the accommodation, with finding job. There was just providing some counseling, legal counseling things, and provided me some psychologists. But the main thing is that I needed shelter, I needed food, I needed a health insurance, and when I don't have food, shelter, or accommodation, psychologists cannot help me with those things. So at that time there wasn't any organization, so my life's built by myself, not by other organization.
And it's so amazing. Like after everything you've been through, you actually decided to found an organization to help others, others who are in the same situation as you. So can you give us, the reason why decided to found the foundation and also come out to the public, because you are making many speeches like here. So what gave you that kind of courage?
By my personal experience encouraged me to help other people that experience the same thing that I did. So because of that, I want to make a better world for the future generation of LGBTI people and also LGBTI refugees and queer people. In Turkey, we didn't have health insurance, we didn't have work permits. I've seen some of my friends that they were died because of diseases, because they didn't have health insurance and they didn't have access to medicines. So and also I've seen with my own eyes that many LGBTI people, LGBTI refugees or asylum seekers in Turkey, they were deported to Iran and Afghanistan. In Iran and Afghanistan, the punishment of same-sex relations is death penalty, and unfortunately the government of Turkey violates the international law and international convention, the rights of asylum seekers. So because of that, I felt that I should do something.
So can you elaborate a little bit more about the specifics, like what you do or what your organization does for the LGBT refugees?
Right now, I live in Czech Republic, and because of that, immediately after my arrival, 2 months after my arrival, I founded a non-profit organization to support those refugees and do advocacy at the EU level to put pressure on Turkey to respect to refugee rights, to respect to asylum rights of asylum seekers, and to fulfill the international convention related to asylum seekers and refugees. Yes, we are a grassroots organization and we are just doing fundraising. So with that fundraising, we use it for the LGBTI people inside of Afghanistan and also LGBTI people in Turkey, the refugees and asylum seekers in Turkey. We do our best to provide shelter or accommodation, and also those people who are really, really vulnerable, we try to provide food to eat for them, and also we send them some money to pay their rents, to buy medicines, and also we do the same thing for the LGBTI people inside of Afghanistan. But unfortunately, our resources are really, really limited, and it is really hard to help everybody.
Yesterday that I gave the presentation about the situation in Korea, how the situation are worse in immigration detention center. So if you can give any kind of insights about how to improve that situation, or if you have like same experience, or if you have met someone with same experience, you can share it.
It was really, your presentation was really heartbreaking for me, and I was really shocked when there was a picture that that person was detained and he was tortured, and it was really shocking and heartbreaking for Korea, because Korea is one of the democratic governments in Asia. So I think the main thing that we can do right now to empower the civil society, like your organization. Civil societies, that they can make everything better, and also civil societies, I want to ask all the civil societies to raise awareness, because government do not want to do it. Yes, and raise awareness and about the refugee and refugee rights in the Korea, and also to put pressure on the government to make the situation better for the refugees and asylum seekers in Korea, and also for the queer LGBTI people, because in my perspective they face multiple discrimination and violence in our countries. So I think it is important that when there is a lack of support from the government, it's the responsibility of the civil societies and NGOs.
Wow. It's up to us. 저희에게 달려 있다고 합니다. We are taking this video during lunchtime. He, gratefully he agreed to film this during lunchtime, so I will be very short. I really wanted to ask you some, if I may, inspirational words to the LGBT refugees in Korea because they are struggling. They are really struggling.
Many people in Iran and Afghanistan, they love Korea, the culture, everything, and yes, the BTS, and also you're so inspiring for us. So I want you that when you are in a difficult situation, do not lose your hope. So many LGBTI people from Iran and Afghanistan, you are inspiring them. You're yes.
Korean people inspire them, or LGBT refugees in Korea inspire them?
Both of them. Yeah, there's a kind of the Korean culture is spread in our country. So you're so inspiring for us, and do not lose your hope. And I want you to use your freedom and your capacity to build your to build your country, to spread freedom and equality and social values in your country, and also expand it beyond your borders. Thank you.
That's a speech coming from a person who fled from his mother country, but then go to Turkey and then go to the Czech Republic, and still fighting for the LGBT people from Afghanistan, and also to change the system in Turkey. Well, thank you so much for today. If you want to leave anything to our leaders.
I want you to echo our voices. The LGBTI people in Turkey, in Afghanistan, in Iran, they are really vulnerable, and they are in under the high pressure and under a dangerous situation. So because of that, we need you to echo our voices. Help us in any way you can. Thank you so much.
진짜 점심시간 활용해서 이렇게 인터뷰에 응해 주셨는데요. 지금 그 포럼 이제 둘째 날인데 정말 중요한 사람으로 초청되어서 이렇게 그 키노트 스피커로 또 아르테미스님 이렇게 소개도 되어 있어요. 그래서 제가 꼭 좀 말씀을 들어봤으면 좋겠는 분이어서 이렇게 모셔보았습니다. 또 새로운 컨텐츠로 찾아오겠습니다. Thank you. 감사합니다.